States are not talking to each other, are not engaging in international business relations. They will say that American values can continue to sort of expand around the world if we continue to do business in these countries. The problem is that when you run into something like the decision that Reed Hastings made, decisions that other companies have made, how are we expanding American values if we're checking those values at the door? I think what was so sort of exceptional about what Reed Hastings said is that it was so blunt and unapologetic and transparent. There was no apology. There was no sort of happy rhetoric about we're just trying to make the world a better place. This was, look, we are a business, we're a company. We don't want to get into the business of frankly pissing off the leader of Saudi Arabia, and therefore we are going to effectively capitulate to his demands.
But isn't that the argument some people are saying the Obama administration did when it came to the killing of Jamal Khashoggi?
Yeah, absolutely. And this is, for a long time, I would just say very quickly, for a long time, our discussion about social media companies, tech companies, entertainment companies has been about the effect that they're having on the United States and on citizens in the United States. And now we're beginning to understand the role they play in an increasingly fractured global landscape when it comes to issues like free speech.
It's a big, big role, whether they like it or not. Dylan, thanks so much. It was great to see you. We are learning new details about the case federal prosecutors against one of President Trump's oldest and dearest allies, Roger Stone. Prosecutors introduced new email and phone records yesterday that outline in great detail Stone's efforts to contact WikiLeaks during the 2016 election. These records include communications between Stone and then presidential candidate Donald Trump. Joining me now, NBC's national security correspondent, Ken Delanian, who during the show has had the honor of spending the last 2 days in and out of this very exciting courtroom.
Outside, Stephanie. But look, these records are very important, and there's a real question about why we're only seeing them now. They were not in the Mueller report, because these phone records tie Donald Trump more closely to the effort to hunt for those hacked Democratic emails than ever before. And it raises questions about why Mueller didn't push harder to interview Trump, because Trump told Mueller in written questions that he didn't remember talking to Stone in the 6 months before the election. But in fact, these records show on the day that the Washington Post reported that the Democrats were hacked by the Russians, Stone called Trump, and then Trump called him back 3 times. So they spoke on 3 occasions. And then after that, Stone set in motion a plan to enlist his friend Jerome Corsi to try to find out where these emails were and how they could get them and use them to help Donald Trump. And then later in July, there's a phone conversation between Stone and Trump. And then Stone emails both Steve Bannon and Paul Manafort on different occasions, basically saying, hey, I have a plan to save Trump's candidacy, because at the time, Trump seemed doomed. And at one point, Stone said, it ain't going to be pretty. And he sent Jerome Corsi to try to talk to Julian Assange, the head of WikiLeaks, in Ecuador to find out how they could use these emails and what WikiLeaks had. So maybe this trial will answer, maybe Donald Trump can answer, but it's some fascinating stuff.
At the Ecuadorian embassy, I think.
Yes, what did I say? Sorry.
In Ecuador.
Yeah. Ecuadorian Embassy in London, you got it.
All right. Ken, thank you so much. Put your seatbelt on. I'm pretty sure you're going to have an exciting day. All right, right now, also in Washington, a very different day ahead. Longtime diplomat Jennifer Williams testifying behind closed doors about the possible role of the vice president in the impeachment inquiry as we await the release of 9 more closed-door depositions which could come out any minute. Do not go anywhere.
Some farms grow food. This one grows fuel. ExxonMobil is growing algae for biofuels. Planes propel ships and fuel trucks and cut their greenhouse gas emissions in half.
Let the big dog eat.
Its potential just keeps growing.
Make fitness routine with Pure Protein.
High protein, low sugar, tastes great.
Good ball.
High protein, low sugar, so good.
High protein, low sugar, birthday cake.
Pure Protein bars. Try lemon cake.
Serving our country is a big deal, and our Veterans Day sale has big deals for you. Now at Men's Warehouse, sport coats start at $99.99. Designer suits start at $199.99, plus shirts are free for $99.99. Only at Men's Warehouse.
When did you see the sign?
When I needed to create a better visitor experience.
Improve our workflow.
Let the big dog eat.
That's when Fast Signs recommended tweet graphics.
Yeah, now business is rolling in. Get started at fastsigns.com. Billions of mouths, billions of problems. Sore gums, bleeding gums, painful flossing? There's a TheraBreath for you. TheraBreath Healthy Gums Oral Rinse fights gingivitis and plaque and prevents gum disease for 24 hours. So you can breathe easy. There's TheraBreath, a Walmart.
Whatever happens, we'll be there with you and your home every step of the way in your journey. 1-800-SERVE-PRO, like it never even happened.
It's time to burn some books!
Taika Waititi's Jojo Rabbit is a dazzling achievement.
I wish more of our young boys had your brain fanaticism.
Bold and profound.
You know Italian? C'est tu. Gesundheit.
It's surprisingly affecting.
Love is the strongest thing in the world.
One of the very best films of the year.
Doesn't make sense anymore.
Yeah, I know, it's definitely not a good time to be a Nazi.
Jojo Rabbit, rated PG-13, everywhere Friday.
When it comes to using data, everyone is different, which is why Xfinity Mobile is a different kind of wireless network that lets you design your own data. Choose unlimited, shared data, or mixed lines of each, and switch any line anytime. Giving you more choice and control compared to other top wireless carriers. Save up to $400 a year when you switch. Plus, get 50% off when you buy any new LG phone. Xfinity Mobile. Click, call, or visit the store today.
This piece is
Got it.
Yeah. So, what do you see?
I see an unbelievable opportunity. I see best-in-class platforms in education. I see award-winning service and a trade desk full of experts available to answer your toughest questions. And I see it with zero commissions on online trades.
I like what you're seeing.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah.
TD Ameritrade now offers 0 commissions on online trades.
That wraps up this hour. I'm Stephanie Rule. Coming up right now, more news with Chris Jansen. Bonjour.
Bonjour, good to see you, my friend. Thank you so much. Hello, I am Chris Jansen. Today, defiance on Capitol Hill. Jennifer Williams, a special advisor to the vice president, is testifying against White House orders. This is the first time impeachment investigators are hearing from someone in Mike Pence's office. We have new reporting on what questions Democrats want answered today. Meanwhile, the president's responding to new reporting this morning that he wanted his Attorney General, Bill Barr, to call a news conference to publicly defend him in the impeachment battle. We'll talk to one of the reporters who broke that story. And Republicans are opening up new lines of defense, including one that suggests that the White House wasn't smart enough to come up with a quid pro quo. As House Democrats get ready to take their case against the president public.
Those open hearings will be an opportunity for the American people to evaluate the witnesses for themselves, but also to learn firsthand about the facts of the president's misconduct.
Our team of reporters and analysts are all over this and the other top stories of the day. Let's start with NBC's Garrett Haake on Capitol Hill. So, Garrett, Jennifer Williams is the third person testifying who was listening in on that July 25th call between Presidents Trump and Zelensky. So, as Democrats methodically build this case, how exactly does she fit in, and what can we expect moving forward as Democrats get ready to take this public?
Williams is interesting for two reasons. First, because she was on that call, she can provide another voice, another perspective on what she heard and what her reactions were to it. Secondly, because she is the first person in Mike Pence's orbit, she might be able to provide information about what Pence knew about the holdup of military aid. Remember, one of the things that we have learned just this week from the change in Gordon Sondland's testimony is that it was on the sidelines of a meeting between Pence and Ukrainian officials that the Ukrainians were informed about the conditions under which that aid could be released. Did Mike Pence know about that, and what was his role in all this? Williams, who is technically a State Department employee but detailed to the Vice President's office, could provide some information about that. She is likely to be the last witness we see here this week. John Bolton, of course, was scheduled to appear today, did not. Mick Mulvaney, scheduled to appear tomorrow, will not. So most of the moving parts for the rest of this week will come from further release of transcripts. Given that next Wednesday, we expect to see Ambassador Bill Taylor and State Department official George Kent side by side of the witness table. I wouldn't be surprised if we're all reading George Kent's deposition over a late lunch today, but the committee has not yet announced which transcripts they will release and when. One other wrinkle, Alexander Vindman, the military official, the NSC official, who's been a name that has come up quite a bit in this, who gave testimony last week, has been back on the Hill to review. Must proceed the release of those transcripts. So we may see that later this week or early next week.
Garrett Haake, thanks so much for that. So while the impeachment probe today focuses on that critical July 25th phone call, there's new reporting this morning about what was going on behind the scenes at the White House as they push their defense that it was, as the president likes to say, a beautiful conversation. The Washington Post reports that President Trump wanted Attorney General Barr to hold a news conference and to say that the president broke no laws during his July phone call with Ukraine's leader. So here's what's interesting. The Justice Department did put out a statement then, but the Post, citing sources familiar with the matter, report that Bill Barr ultimately declined the request to stand in front of cameras and take questions, to say, basically, there was nothing wrong there. The White House says that exchange, their request, never happened. One of the reporters who broke that story joins me now, Washington Post national security reporter Matt Zapotosky, along with NBC's Kristen Welker at the White House. So Matt, tell us a little more about this request and what do we know about why Barr decided not to do it?
Yeah, so it was around the time the administration actually released this rough transcript, and there was a lot of hemming and hawing in the days leading up to that. Would they release it? Should they not release it? The Justice Department is kind of agitating to get it out because they believe, perhaps misguidedly, that, well, this will actually be helpful. It was not, but it's around this time that President Trump says to other officials in the White House, hey, I want Bill Barr to do a press conference saying he's looked at the transcript and I didn't break any laws. That request makes its way over to the Justice Department, but Bill Barr ultimately decides he's not going to do that. We don't know exactly why. The statement the president apparently wanted him to make would have been beyond that kind of narrow written statement that his spokesperson said, which was, we looked at the transcript of the call and no campaign finance laws were broken, but not no laws were broken. Also, going in front of cameras, obviously, and potentially taking questions, putting himself kind of more personally in the fray here, and clearly he